Hi, my name is Sofia Zegarra, and I will be presenting architecture and its impact in society. British politician, army officer, writer, and former Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said that we shape our buildings, therefore they shape us. When it comes to architecture, architecture makes the blueprints that design a society, so it is up to society to determine their infrastructure in order to reflect them and work for them. Architecture is the art and technique of designing and building. In order for a building to be considered architectural, it must be practical and expressive. Every society, no matter how developed or otherwise, has structures that reveal history, artistic sensibility, environment, and daily life aspects. Architectural structures from Egypt, Greece, and Rome until the neoclassical, modernist, and 21st century stages of architecture all have but one thing in common. For centuries, architecture has shaped societies through its buildings and monuments, while reflecting one's economical impact, enriching the world with their heritage, and by portraying its unique past. Architecture is a vivid illustration of a culture's achievements regarding aesthetic and economic accomplishments of the era. It is also used as an economic drive that can be split into 5 sections: space branding, tourism, consumerism, corporate, and community integration. It's important to note that when seen through an economic lens, a space can be treated as a product. It looks to attract tourists, inhabitants, and investors. With that in mind, it's also important to think of architecture rather than something expensive as somewhat of an investment. When done right, it can bring power and influence of a country over others. Since classic architecture to modern architecture, all styles have a way of showcasing cultures worldwide. Classic architecture, for example, from ancient Greece is mostly known for its religious temples. It is also known as a time where growth in language, philosophy, politics, education, and the arts took place. Religion was also very influential in people's daily lives, and that can be portrayed in their architecture. Romanesque styles arose during a time of war. Its heavy and resistant walls were meant to protect a location against invasion. The same way that Gothic architecture focused on grand, majestic features and enhanced wealth and power. Baroque emphasized drama. The neoclassical era sought to revive ancient Greek and Roman cultures. Like many others that arose, like Art Nouveau, Art Deco, modernism, postmodernism, and deconstructivism, amongst others. It is often believed that the only buildings that can actually teach history are museums. However, the architectural style of a building can say much more from the time that it was built than one could imagine. Architecture is also a reflection of humanity's past and its social movements, giving importance to its history and impact on society. The ancient pyramids of Egypt and Mexico have taught wonders. The Roman Colosseum still rages with battles. The Hagia Sophia beams of beauty. The US Capitol speaks of justice, yet still bleeds from the slave labor that built it. The Washington Monument falls in its footsteps. The Berlin Wall still cries of broken bonds. The Eiffel Tower still screams of victory, you name it. There is meaning behind every monument, every memorial, every building, every structure. Many use symbolism to emphasize their purpose. In war memorials, ancient and universal symbols are used to link them to the noblest of deeds and sacrifices of fallen soldiers. Winged angels represent a victory, broken columns represent a life cut short, and others are used to represent honor, the ultimate salvation and sacrifice, remembrance, and purification. There's also symbolism used to give meaning to a building. The Jewish Museum in Berlin has lines on the outside that simulate disappearance, emptiness, and the absence of Jewish culture in the city. Symbolism has a huge impact on society. Some believe that it all depends on perception and interpretation. However, whether you know or not what a structure means, you know that there is history behind it. All in all, there are many aspects that make architecture one of the most beautiful and, for some, most important art of all. Architecture has the ability to create practicality and yet convey meaning at the same time. It is able to shape a city, whether it creates chaotic cities like in Britain during the Industrial Revolution, where rapid and poor urban planning led to disease, suffering, and low way of life, where it creates an unimaginable utopian society. It is up to the people. Architecture has the ability to strengthen or impoverish a country. That is why it is important to invest time and money into a city's infrastructure. Like former Prime Minister Winston Churchill said, we shape our buildings, therefore they shape us.